I'm Hector Sutherland. I attended the organic school many years ago, in fact about 3 years in the latter part of the 1920s. But the experience that I had, I think probably was very important as an influence of what I did later on in life to become a professional in the field of education. I think though that I should say how enthusiastic I am to have an opportunity to talk with you, to participate in the making of this tape in this particular room. Here we are in the Marietta Johnson Museum, and for most of the time that I was in school here at Organic, this was the classroom in which I think I had some very interesting learning experiences. After I left the organic school, I finished my schooling before I went to college at the Edgewood School in Greenwich, Connecticut, which was at that time an associate institution with the organic school. After graduating from Edgewood, I attended college, undergraduate at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, did graduate work at New York University. 4 years in the military, and since that time I have spent practically my whole working life in the field of academia. I retired in 1981 as Professor Emeritus, a college administrator, a college dean. So I've been exposed to education practically my whole life, been involved in the educational pursuits, and have had some really joyous experiences in association with many fine young people. But I think what happened here, perhaps in this very room, certainly on this campus, was largely important to me because of the contact with 3 women, or rather in this case in 2 women. One of course was Marietta Johnson, and the second was Mary Chase, who was my teacher for most of the time that I was here. Along with 2 other women, I think that I had experience with in the field of education, again as major contributors. My first grade teacher, and the way I went to school for the first time in a very small town in British Columbia, Canada. My teacher's name, I'll never forget her name, was Muriel Banks. And one of the things that she did, I don't know that she taught me how to read, she just told me I was going to learn how to read. And you know, one day, shortly after we were introduced in the first grade to reading, it suddenly became very clear to me that I could read. This was a great joy to me because it opened up a whole new kind of field for a person who was 6 years old. Well, a few years later, after my family moved to Connecticut, and my mother, my sister, and myself, we came to Fairhope, joined the organic school. And meeting Mrs. Johnson and having Mary Chase as a teacher, both of these people, made quite a significant effect on me, influenced, I think, in many ways my thinking. But primarily, what I discovered here was that school could be a real joy. It was a happy situation. And one of the things I remember so well was that almost every morning I got up, I thought it was so great I was going to be able to go to school. Now, I don't remember a great many details, perhaps, of what the learning experience was because it was an accumulative proposition. After I left the organic school and went to Connecticut, I was fortunate to have a principal at the Edgewood School. Her name was Elizabeth Euphrazine Langley. And she, before I graduated, she kept telling me that she thought perhaps I would make a good teacher, that I ought to go into education. She encouraged me. And what's very instrumental